Best words in sports, Football Friday. Right? A Football Friday never goes wrong, especially when you're here with Big Sills here on the National Football Show. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Make no mistake about it, folks. Our good friends here at BetUS are powering us and making sure that we are powered by our friends at BetUS. Okay? We love the fact that we are powered by our friends at BetUS. Simple as that. Make sure you go to the website, check it out at betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Also, the first 15 minutes of the program are some of the most important parts of the program because it spreads the word of the show. We appreciate you guys doing this. Please make sure you hit that like button. Thank you so much. We are packed once again. Our benchmark guys on Friday. Jason Cole's going to tell you if Eric Allen has made the final 10. That decision will be made on December 28th. If Eric Allen will be one of the final 10 that makes consideration for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Also, the legendary Philly Godfather wasn't on with us last week because of Turkey Day. He will be with us today, giving you the skinny on what's going to happen this weekend. That will be there. Zander's going to join us at 3:30 in his usual spot. Hit that like button. We appreciate you guys coming aboard, as we said here. Did you see that quarterback last night? What was the line in that game last night? When it came to Jared Goff. Holy crap, was he sensational. What was the thing that he did last night that no quarterback in pro football history ever did? Here it is. Jared Goff completed at least 5 passes to 6 different wide receivers. An NFL first. I said it too, and I tweeted it. He's the difference between, quite frankly, the Eagles and the Lions. He's a better quarterback. Last night, 32 of 41, 283 versus the Green Bay Packers. 3 touchdowns, 78% completion percentage. This guy spreads the ball around. He spread the ball around against a pretty good Packer team. And by the way, the Lions on defense are missing just about every guy out there, and they still beat Green Bay. They still beat Green Bay. Wow. What a fucking team. By the way, Big Sills picked that team at the beginning of the year to be your Super Bowl champions. How you doing? Hey. So right now, he has 3,265 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 109 quarterback rating, 73% completion percentage, and he's going to throw for 4,400 yards and 35 touchdowns. Damn! That's how you do it. Right there from the pocket. He's a pocket passer. Holy cow. Hey, yeah, look at Senor. Senor, all of a sudden now, the Packer defense is trash. And when the Eagles were flopping around in Rio or Sao Paulo, I guess that's not a good win, though, for the Lions last night, right? So I guess it's not a good win for you, too, right, Senorita? Right? I guess it's not a good win for you then either. Hey, Packer defense sucks, so that's not a good win either, right? Hey, right? That's a division foe. They play in the NFC North. NFC North. Yeah, oh, no. Hey, it's not a good win for the Eagles. Okay? It's not a good win for you guys. Well, no, it's not a good win for the Lions, but it's a great win for you. Dude, if you don't have the Packers on that schedule, the team that you beat with the great resume, in my opinion, is the Ravens. So you want to take the Packers off, that's fine. You beat one team then, according to you, that's worth the shit. I happen to think the Packer win for you is a good win. But since you don't think it's a good win for the Lions, then hey, it's not a good win for you. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? You see Jared Goff, man? This guy's gonna win the most valuable player award. That might win the MVP. Okay, he might win the MVP. He beats Josh Allen in a week. That guy's gonna win the most valuable player award. If they win home field and they go 16-1, do you agree? If Jared Goff, how about this one here? If Jared Goff leads a football team to 16-1, they get home field advantage, and Barkley goes for 2104, 2105. They're going to give the MVP award to Goff, not Barkley. Going 16-1, beating all those teams, getting home field advantage. They're going to give Jared Goff the MVP award. Even if you break the record. How you doing? Look at this guy. Joey goes, MVP throwing screens. You mean like Brady, right? Or Mahomes, right? He's going to win the most valuable player award. Let's get the likes. First 15 minutes, my friends. Man, what a quarterback last night. All right. Enough of that. It's going to be an interesting ball game. By the way, we're going to give you our takeaways for this Carolina game on Sunday here in a minute, bud. So AJ Owens is back. And he's back. So I guess he deleted a tweet where he's out there and he's, what's the quote? Let me make sure I get the quote right here. I have to make sure I get the quote yet from AJ Owens here, because he's back. You only knew it would be a matter of time before AJ Owens is back. By the way, great ball player. I get it. But AJ Owens, here's the deal. So here it is. AJ Owens crying about his targets. There is only so much I can do. The guy's 10-2 and he's fucking bitching. Then he deleted it. We're going to need – some guy tweeted at him and said, we're going to need you. And so he adds on, there's only so much I can do. You're fucking 10-2. You're fucking 10-2. What are you crying about, guy? That's why he deleted it. He deleted it because he's 10-2. AJ Owens back at it again because he's not the star of the offense any longer. It's Saquon Barkley. I didn't think that would – I wondered who it would affect. Because everyone's got an ego. Look at McNabb. He couldn't take Deshaun Jackson being a Pro Bowler at two different positions. He was talking shit on him in Hawaii. He was talking shit on him. He didn't deserve to have both of them because he was the first guy ever. Which Deshaun Jackson talks about it. This guy's talking shit on me while I'm out here in Hawaii to my teammates on the Pro Bowl. And he's telling everybody I didn't deserve to be a special teams All-Pro and I didn't deserve to be a first team. And I'm like, why would a guy in your own fucking team talk shit like that to you? You know why? Because the ego. Because the ego. And I didn't think it would affect Hurts, and it didn't. I don't believe Jalen Hurts gives a shit about that. Okay? But I do believe AJ Owens does. I'm not the star? What do you mean I'm not the star? Of course I'm the star. I'm the star of the team. Everybody knows it. He's such a baby, man. Great player. But he whines a lot, man. Dude, you're 10-2. Who gives a fuck what you do? You're unstoppable on that slant right now. The only guy I've ever seen that can't be defended on that slant's Jerry Rice. What do you care? It's really ego. Hey, Sills, since you like passing quarterbacks, fine. Kick rocks and do your show on the Lions instead of the Eagles. Also, how many passing quarterbacks that didn't win? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, douchebag. No idea what you're talking about. Some starting drama. AJ, it's fake news. No, it's not. He deleted that tweet. It's not fake news, dickhead. Don't tell me shit that I see a topic on and a guy does something and call it fake news. He did it. It's no fucking fake news, Nick. He did it. What's fake about it? What I'm saying? So much I can do. He's such a baby, man. Oh, my God. Hey, there's only so much I can do. No, you're doing enough. You're one of the best slant receivers I've ever seen. Stop moaning about your targets. Nobody gives a shit. Still, the wide receiver position is loaded with divas. That's what makes Smitty so special. Agreed. AJ's temperament is no different than any other wide receiver at this level. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I want you to know that he's like them guys, though, Bob. I don't know. We're 10-2, and I can only do so much. What possibly more can you do? What possibly more? Stay healthy? Okay. Try that one. My target. It's like a guy with his pail and shovel on the beach, and you grab his pail, and he starts moaning about it. Big Sil's took my pail. You're like, shit, dude, what do you care, man? You got 15 of them. He took my pail. Yeah. These guys are too much, man. Hey, man, I can't believe it. My pail. Holy cow. Sills, you and AJ got to go out for a beer sometime. Are you suggesting that we're a lot alike, Nick? Nick, are you suggesting that AJ Owens and me are alike? Shit talkers and braggers and guys who are constantly looking for attention? Nick, is that what you're saying? That me and AJ Owens have a lot in common? How dare you? How dare you say that? Hey, how dare you? I would have almost everything in common with AJ Owens. Absolutely. Oh, here's another one. Marino, Cunningham, Warren Moon, etc. Sills, they have been less talented quarterbacks who have won. I love you. Two douchebag. All love, douchebag to Sills. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, Ace. Ace knows the show. Way to go, brother. Happy holidays to you, my friend. Absolutely. I love that's great, Ace. Fire that shit back. Fire the cannons. That's what I like, Ace. People crawl away and under their desk and hide when somebody says some stupid shit to them. This ain't the show for you. Well, I can't believe you said that. This ain't the place for you. Okay, this is not. AJ is only 27. Hollywood, find another angle. Find another angle? I'm not there's no angle. He's a diva baby. I didn't get my targets. Only so much I can do. You're 10-2. What are you moaning about? Well, you're moaning because you're not the star of the offense any longer. That's what this comes down to. You know the kid that gets more attention in the room than the other guy? And the one guy who used to get all the attention doesn't get it any longer. And he's going, why are they looking at him? It's like McNabb. It's like the McNabb disease. That's what we're going to start calling it. AJ Owens has the McNabb disease. How come he's getting all the pub? How come he's getting all the flowers and love? He's the MVP? What about me? This team was nowhere without me. And you're like, okay, honey, don't worry. We love you too. That's why Nick's got to go around petting everybody on top of the head. Hey, Jalen is an MVP. AJ's our guy. Devontae Smith. Get this. Of all the guys in the huddle, who they take the most advantage of, it's Devontae Smith. They name him captain. Don't talk about him. And he is one of the best pros you have in your locker room. I mean, of all the things, right? He's Philadelphia more than anybody else in that huddle. And he's the least guy that they talk about. He's Devontae Smith. That's why I love him. The loudest guy in the room is usually the weakest. It's funny, Sills, when you talk shit, a.k.a. truth on Jalen and AJ, the people of Philly don't want to hear it. That's what radio's for. But you give the facts. Hey, by the way, hey, did I say that it affects his play? No. Did I say that he's a lesser player? No. Did I say I wouldn't want him on my team? No. I played with Michael Irvin. AJ's nowhere near Michael Irvin when it comes to shit talking. Nowhere. Not even remotely in the room or in the area code of Michael Irvin. Do I like guys like that on my team? But Michael was talking shit to the other guys. He wasn't talking shit to the media going, well, I'm really disappointed that Emmett's getting all the love. I never heard Michael ever go, I can't, it's all I can do. You know, I'm not really getting anything here. It's all Emmett, and everyone's giving Emmett the flowers and not me. I never heard Michael ever do that ever. Never. I heard him talk shit on people. Okay? That's all right, though. It's probably not. It's the nothing burger. Does Howie move on from Goddard next year? God, I hope so. God, I hope so. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. So, Sills, you just love to embellish shit about AJ, don't you? I didn't embellish nothing. It's what he did. There's only so much I can do. The fuck do you want me to make? There's nothing made up about that. Guy's 10-2. He's averaging 18 yards a carry. Or catch, excuse me. What do you mean, embellish? Embellish what? Oh, man. Sills Laurie should hire a retired player like Dawkins or Westbrook to shadow or chaperone these players, educate them on how to handle the deadly Philadelphia market, eliminates distractions. Okay? I thought they had Big Dom for that. Shit, now, Dom. Hey, Dom's like a movie star now. They want to make a movie over Big Dom. It's actually a great idea for a sitcom. Having Big Dom, like having a sitcom based on Big Dom babysitting your coach. Hey, by the way, let me say this to you about Dan Campbell versus Nick Sirianni. I don't know what it is, but why do I trust Dan Campbell more, and why do I believe Dan Campbell more? He just seems more genuine. That guy actually just seems more genuine. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's a former player or not. I don't know. He just seems genuine. I look at Dan Campbell and I believe him. I look at Nick Sirianni. I don't believe him. Now, again, this is 35,000 feet. I mean, I'm and maybe because we cover Nick more and I don't cover Dan more, and maybe I would have a different opinion if I was more knee-deep into the Lions. But I don't know, man. It just, that guy seems like I like him more. Okay? To me, it looks, he's more believable. I believe him. Instead of hearing this, my guy's an MVP candidate. Hey, John, I mean, when you're talking about Jalen Hurts, what a phenomenal game he had throwing the ball for 105. Unbelievable. Even though Barkley had 302 total yards, my guy's an MVP. And you're like, wait, hang on. What? Is reading a defense a skill that can be taught? You'd think after all this time and repetition, Jalen would get it. That's the point. He's never getting it. Now, to the thing, he hasn't improved. He's taking sacks. And it's covered up by saying, well, he's handling the blitz. I don't believe he is handling the blitz. He still gets sacked at a higher rate now. It's kind of, and Barkley's greatness is covering the inefficiencies of the passing game. I know, get this, every single person we talk to, whether it's Zander, Philly 500, these guys all believe they're going to flip a switch. When they need it, they're going to pass the ball and win games doing it. I don't believe that. There's a reason you practice shit. There's a reason you do stuff. There's a reason you have the same things that you do each and every single week to make sure you get better and better at the things you do the best. The Eagles don't pass the ball well. And the only reason they're passing the ball to some extent well is because Barkley is creating one-on-ones on the perimeter. He still misses reads every single game. Go watch the 22. There's 7 or 8 plays you can watch that Hurts just doesn't go to, because you know what they're doing now? Now they're going to the RPO. Now, I'm okay with that. If there's guys, this is why AJ actually, all kidding aside, this is actually why AJ is now getting frustrated, because he's open. But they're running the RPOs. And I don't think that he's mad at Jalen. I think he's mad that Kellen Moore is going more towards the RPO. But I get this. I'm okay with that, because I think he's better at that. As a matter of fact, I told you this. He may be better at running that RPO than any guy I've ever seen. Okay. Threw a great touchdown pass off the RPO. Dude, look, if Owens is all moaning and crying because of targets and they're 10-2, I don't give a fuck what he thinks. I really personally don't. And he could come over to the sidelines bitching all he wants. And if he's coming over to the sidelines bitching at Jalen and you're up by 20 points, I tell that guy to go sit the fuck down. Go sit down. And if I was the head coach, I'd tell his ass to go sit down. Absolutely. And by the way, now they've implemented a fullback. What are they telling you? They're taking the third wide receiver out of the offense. They're more going to run the ball even more now in an I formation. Dude, adding a fullback is there for 2 things: max protection and also I formation running in between the tackles. That thing's not set up to help a passing game. It's there to put for the run game. They're adding more components to the run game now, not the passing game. I'd really like to know how that's going over in the front office, knowing how you spend all that dough in them wideouts and tight ends, and you're getting dick out of them. I'd really like to know how that's going over. You got a $15 million tight end you're not using. You got a $25 million wideout you're not using. And you got a $35 million wideout you're kind of using. I wonder how that's going on. I'd like to know what Doug Peterson would think of that. Sills, follow me here. This is not Moore's system, but he's working with it. Yeah. Yes. If we could keep Moore next year, he should be able to develop an RPO system that can utilize AJ and Smitty and save Barkley. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. And by the way, I think one of the components adding into the fullback, I think that's either Kellen Moore or Nick. Hey, man, we're going to run the ball here. Dude, do you understand? When you add that fullback in, those are lesser passes coming. Those are lesser passes because you're trying to create another blocker for Barkley in the run game. Hey, dude, do I believe that they can develop a good passing game off that RPO? Yeah, I do. I think Jalen's really good at it. I think they're really starting to morph to that, going, we're not going to run a traditional drop back. But what we are going to do is we are going to start implementing these RPOs to get the passing game going. Side by side, Hurts and Allen's numbers are damn near identical. So where's the disconnection in your mind? Because, Blaze, name me one player, and I'll say it again to you, Blaze. Name me one player in that offensive huddle that Buffalo could start anywhere in Philadelphia. He does it with lesser players and carries his football team on his back. It's all Allen. It's all Barkley. AJ. You have the best. You are your offense. You shopped at Neiman Marcus or Tiffany's. They shopped at the dollar store. There's the disconnect. He doesn't have A.J. Brown there. He doesn't have Devontae Smith. He has no Barkley there. He has no Dallas Goedert there. He doesn't have the top offensive line in football there. He has none of that. Zero. Has none of that. There's your disconnect. Okay? There's your disconnect. He doesn't need those guys around him. Okay? You shop, like I said, at Neiman Marcus for your players. And by the way, he's benefited from that his entire time. And what happened was, you know why in college he got replaced? Because you can have 5-star quarterbacks at Alabama 5 deep. You can in the NFL. Do you understand that? Xander was there for this. He was replaced because you know why? Alabama recruited a better player. And in college, you can have that guy. Back then, okay? Hey, once again, hey, at least he's getting beat by Lamar Jackson in playoffs. He's not getting beat by Baker Mayfield. Hey, you're right, dude. You're moving the sticks. You asked me what the disconnect was. I just told you. Thanks for the super chat. All of them go to the top. Think about what hit. Hey, think about that. You're telling me if you had Josh Allen on that Philadelphia Eagle team that they wouldn't replace Hurts with him. They would. Alabama, they did. And they replaced him. Did they lose any less? Jalen's such a winner. Alabama won more. I mean, what are we talking about here? You make it sound like, well, he's won every. Well, they replaced him with another guy, and Alabama went on to win even more. They didn't have a drop off. I get he won the SEC title, but Nick thought he wasn't good enough. Get this. He says college is different than pros. You're damn right, because like I said, I can have 5-star studded quarterbacks in college. Okay? You can't have them in the pros. You can't have 5 Jalen Hurts behind him. College, you can. That's the difference. You're damn right. Chip Kelly couldn't figure that out. Chip thinks he could run that offense. We had 100 guys, Chip. NFL, you have 53. That's the difference. Yes, you stockpile more talent in college than you do the pros. Alabama's got 10 5-star old linemen in case a guy goes down. That's why they constantly have to keep recruiting. In the NFL, you don't have 5-star old linemen. Zander, I missed the super chat here. I just missed the super, I think, here. They didn't have Barkley last year and had to pass to win them 10 games. He can't throw if he has to, and he has 1 game from the pocket. You're overhating, dude. Really? Well, last year, he third in interceptions in the NFL last year. Really? And there was a point prior to the bye, before they stopped throwing the ball, that he had 27 interceptions in 30 games, or 27 turnovers. Eagles would go undefeated with Allen. Correct. You say that Kellen hasn't improved Jalen. Maybe it's not Kellen. Maybe it's Jalen doesn't know what the F he's doing. No, I think they're figuring it. I think they figured it out. I think they figured it out since the bye. Get them in that RPO. They're running it at a 22% clip now, which is, dude, I don't have. I want that. That's the guy you paid for. The guy since the bye is the person you paid for. And I'm totally cool with it. He's never going to be, and comparing him to Allen and everyone else is a mistake, and I made it. You can't, because if they run the football the way that they're running the football right now, Hurts doesn't have to do anything. That's okay. Troy Aikman didn't really have to do a lot. Is that really a rip when you're 10? Hey, what the fuck do you care? You tell me all the time. What do you care what it looks like if you're 10-2? What do you care? If that guy's not Josh Allen or he's not Joe Burrow, what do you care if you're 10-2? What's there to fucking hate on when you're 10-2? What's the moan about it? Is he ever going to be those guys? No. He's a cheap man's version of Lamar Jackson. That I think is smarter in a game. I think Lamar plays too much hero ball. I don't think Jalen does that. Okay? I just don't. All right, let me go on to this one now. By the way, again, the difference last night with the Lions had a ton of injuries on defense last night, and they still ended up winning a game. And to show you what the passing game and the running game is about, I mean, when you took a look at the numbers last night, I mean, they were out. They were great across the board. And that's a pretty decent Packer team, man. That's a good Packer team. And I'm sorry, I know that it's not a good win for the Lions, and it's an exceptional win for you, whatever the hell that means. But once again, last night, I mean, what was it? I thought the Packer defense did a pretty decent job. I mean, the Lions only ran the ball for 111 yards in the ball game. And it was Goff that won that ball game last night. It was Jared Goff who won it. It wasn't the run game. It was Goff. That's why when you brought that stupid stat up, well, Jared had 85 yards. But that's a fucking anomaly, guy. That guy's not going to do that every week. I'm okay with something like that with him. Who cares? 5 interceptions even. If that guy's going to go out and be 12-1, and that guy's going to throw for 4,500 yards and 38 touchdowns in a season, that fucking guy's going to be able to have an offense that's going to be able to beat you by running the ball and throwing it in the air. You can't do that. Okay? You can't do that. All right, let's move on from that. I'm sick of this topic. All right. Let's go to this one here. So, how are you guys feeling about Nick Sirianni right now? How are you feeling about Nick right now, head coach of the Eagles? How are you feeling about him? By the way, we'll hit on his salad dressing presser that he had today, his salad lunch that he had today. Okay, I mean, I don't know what he said, but okay. Well, we'll talk about that salad lunch he had with the media today, and everybody was passing around kumbayas. So we'll talk about that. How you feeling about Nick right now? How do you feel about him? Nick's an asshole. Man, Ray is 10-2. Okay, I don't know what that means. How do you feel about him as your coach? Okay. How do you 15-year extension coming? As long as he does not make mistakes and keeps winning, great. Okay. Nick looks like he still doesn't know head coaching position and the gravity it comes with. It's why Nick gives out participation trophies and his lack of flow recognition, but I think Vic is helping Nick. I do too. I think there's some of that, Samuel. I think there's some of this. So I'm going to ask you a question here that's been going around Philadelphia, and I'll ask it. So after the 1-6 meltdown of a year ago and the 2-2 start, which what is that? Was it 3-8? Are you willing now to give Nick a pass because he's 10-2? That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking. So nice. Trying to read Big Sills. How about this? So you willing to give him a pass for what happened a year ago and the start on being 3-8? Giving him a pass like it never happened, right? If you're the Philadelphia Eagles and the Eagles win a Super Bowl, Are you keeping Nick and letting Kellen walk? Is that what you're doing? How are you going to handle that? So Kellen walks out, and you think you're going to hire another guy. Okay. How's that worked out? It's been hit or miss, right? It's been awful. It's been good. It's been great. Right now, we don't know what Kellen's done with the offense because we don't know how far you're going to go. And really, the passing offense, I still to this day, with my conviction, I do not believe it's improved. So what are you going to do? Kellen's going to get an opportunity. I'll tell you this. If what's the team that runs the ball? Let me say this to you. If Kyle Shanahan moves on and you have a running attack like you do up in San Francisco, would you think about hiring Kellen Moore? I would. I would think about Kellen Moore in San Francisco. Why not? I would. If you're Chicago, you think about Kellen Moore? Dual threat quarterback? Kind of like Dak? Eagles are going to keep Nick, yes, especially if we win the Super Bowl. Ownership won't care. They've been recycling coaches since Laurie owned the Eagles. Okay, I missed the super chat here, Xander. Please, let's hit on that super chat. We got another one here behind this one, behind Jason here. Let me see here. Maybe I can hopefully bring this thing up here a little bit. Here it is. Hey, Sills, it's crazy to assume under the same concept that Jalen has the talent to do less that can also apply to Nick Sirianni with a new DC and OC. That's not true because last year he had lesser OCs and DCs and they fell apart. You're assuming that, and you guys have said they've upgraded with coordinators. Well, he didn't hire them. Howie hired him. He was said today in the press conference how Howie builds the team. He didn't hire them coordinators. Organization went out and hired him. He was on a hot seat last year. He wasn't fucking hiring any coordinators. You think Nick Sirianni hired those coordinators? You're out of your mind. Dude, one of the things we talked about in the offseason was that he had to come back with his head between his legs because of the nuclear meltdown he had. He didn't hire these guys. The organization hired him. So the only reason that Nick is benefiting is because they went out and got quality hires, not because Nick's a better coach. Nick's a better coach? Where? What gives you that indication he's a better coach? Or is it he has better coordinators? That's like telling me the offense is better with Kellen Moore than it was under Brian Johnson. Even though Barkley's the reason that the offense has improved, passing game hasn't. Passing game's almost 30th. I mean, what are you talking about here? And by the way, I think the Eagles are doing the most important thing that you can possibly do right now. You know what that is? They are taking advantage of a shitty NFC. Good for them. They are putting the biggest talented roster together that they possibly can because, quite frankly, I think it's two teams in the NFC and then nobody else. I think Green Bay is good. I think Minnesota's decent. And the rest of them, you can have them. Put them in a hat, and the rest of those 5 teams can fight it out for 3rd and 4th place in the NFC. You know, the quarterbacks are over in the AFC. You can get beat any week over in the AFC because of the quarterback play. The quarterback, who's the top quarterback in the NFC right now? If you were going to rank the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC, and you could put Hurts in there if you want, who would be the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC? Let's see. Right now, and you can't count Dak. Who are the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC? Let's see. Goff. Okay. Jalen. Sure. Love. Okay. Who else? Darnold? Mayfield? I want you to do that. Let's do that for a second. Okay? Let's do the NFC. Let's rank the top 5. Let's not get crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. QBs. And how about this? 7. Because there's 7 playoff spots. So let's do the top 7 quarterbacks in the NFC. Okay? So we go Goff. Let's go Jalen Hurts. Who's third? Darnold? Or no, Love. We'll go Love. Stafford 4. Okay. The rookie Daniels. So you got a rookie in the top 7. Okay. Kyler Murray. Who's 7? Mayfield. So here's your top QBs in the NFC. Goff, Hurts, Love, Sam Darnold, Stafford, Murray, and Mayfield. Here's the AFC. Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Herbert. Got to put a rookie in there. What are you going to put? Bo Nix in there? Oh, wait, Stroud. Who else would you put in there? In the AFC. So we got Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Herbert, Stroud. Who else? Wilson? Okay, Russell Wilson. Super Bowl winner. One more we need. Burrow. Well, no. Because, Burrow's playing, but he's probably not going to make the playoffs. But if you want to put Burrow in there, all right, let's put Burrow in there. But I'd like to have a guy who's going to be in the postseason. So who else? Nix? Bo Nix? Okay, we'll put him there. So here's the quarterbacks you have to go through in the playoffs in the AFC. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, and a rookie, Bo Nix. We'll put that in there. That's 8. Here's in the NFC. Goff, Hurts, Love, Stafford, Darnold, Murray, and Mayfield. I mean, it's night and day. And the Eagles have taken complete advantage of that. Great. Not a rip. Got a rip. Not a rip. Not a rip. And for the record, I think Detroit and Philly probably have the best rosters. Here, let me make it here. Here, let me put it to you this way. Watch this one here. Let's see where Jalen Hurts would be ranked in the AFC. Seals, I didn't say that I'm saying he's succeeding like how Hurts is with the talent. I'm not saying he's good. He doesn't have to do much. I get it. Ace, I got it. Ace, help me out here on this. Where would you rank Jalen Hurts in the AFC if he was playing for the Jets, say? Let's see. Would you rank him ahead of Justin Herbert? No. Jackson? No. Allen? No. Burrow? No. Mahomes? No. Stroud? No. Where? Russell Wilson? Probably. Maybe. We'll find out next week. Bo Nix? Probably. Dude, don't kid yourself. When you don't play against the greatest rosters in the AFC, you play against the best quarterbacks in the AFC, and quarterbacks win Super Bowls. Rosters don't. Take a look at the last 2 Super Bowls. The last 2 Super Bowls, best rosters lost. Niners and Eagles. Because why? One guy. Are you trying to tell me Kansas City was more talented as a roster than 49ers and Eagles in the last 2 Super Bowls? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. How many guys in that Kansas City huddle could start as a skilled position player? Nobody, except for Travis Kelce. Nobody. None of the wideouts, one tight end, and obviously the quarterback. They've got Humphrey, and they got another guard in there. They're pretty good in the O-line. They're good in the O-line. The quarterback makes them better. Okay? I mean, you're making it sound like that offense looks a lot like Brady's offense. Have dudes at wideout, a great tight end, and an effective running back. That's how Brady won Super Bowls. He didn't win them with elite wide receivers. There was actually nobody elite on Tom Brady's offense as a skill set player in New England. Nobody. Nobody was elite except the tight end. Think about that. And Brady never played with a first-round draft pick that won Super Bowls as a skill set guy. Brady wasn't. There was not one first-round draft pick that they won Super Bowls with as an offensive skill set players. Once again, Dickhead and Reyes, they didn't win a Super Bowl with Moss. They didn't win a Super Bowl. Every time they bring Moss up, it shows your ignorance. Moss doesn't own a Super Bowl ring. Moss doesn't own a Super Bowl ring. Okay? He owns accolades. I mean, accolades. Right? Your dumbass trusts Campbell and Goff. These two were the reason they got knocked off. What was the reason that you fell apart last year? Or was it, wait a minute, not your coach, right? But all of a sudden you've given him a pass because he's 10-2. Oh, like you got to love Eagle fans. Like it never happened. His shitty indecision and his meltdown. Hey, everybody's a front runner. This reminds me so much of last year. Everybody's a front runner. Eagles, go Birds. They're playing great. They're playing great. Sills, doesn't it seem Dan Campbell look like he trusts his players more than Nick on fourth down? Because if you have to say, I trust you so much, it makes me skeptical. Anyway, Ben Johnson, new head coach. Absolutely. That's a great take. They don't have to fucking talk about their toughness. They are tough. You don't have to talk about trust with players. That's the word salad bullshit that Nick Sirianni does. Get this. And what does that mean? 44-19 and 10-2. What and Nick? And what? What does it mean? Tell me what that means to you, Nick. Tell me what that means to you. You know what it means to me? Not living up to the final execution of going through the tape. That's falling short to me. It's not to you. That's not falling short. 44-19. I wonder how Nick Saban would look at that with no titles, 44-19. How do you think he would look at that, Xander? How do you think a guy like Belichick or Saban, if you're going to start comparing him to those guys with that record and the win percentage that the media is doing, how do you think those championship coaches, you know what he is to me right now? He's Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer's fourth all-time in wins. Fourth. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Marty's got one of the greatest coaching records in pro football history. All-time coaching wins. Legendary all-time NFL coaching wins all-time here. Here you go. Let's see. I want to be correct. Marty Schottenheimer, 7th on the all-time list of wins. Campbell has no titles yet. You praise him because I trust him. Let's see here. So, Marty Schottenheimer is 200 wins and 126. Okay? He's got more wins than Chuck Noll. So, Marty must be a better coach than a guy who won the Super Bowl 4 times, according to you. Is that right? Right? He's got more wins than Mike Tomlin, so he's better than Tomlin, right? He's a better coach than Parcells, Marty Schottenheimer. Bill's got 172 wins and Marty's got a higher win percentage. So he must be better, right? Okay. So Marty Schottenheimer's a better coach than Joe Gibbs, Bill Cowher, Marv Levy, Paul Brown, Tony Dungy, Dick Vermeil, George Allen, John Madden, Vince Lombardi, Bill Walsh. Must be better because he's got more wins. No titles. So what's that record mean to you? Just trying to figure out what we're going here and where we're going. When you keep bringing that record up, what does that record mean to you? Joseph says nothing. So, Joseph, do you want a coach who has a great postseason win? Or do you want a guy who wins a lot of regular season games? Where are we going? By the way, I think the regular season record has a lot to do more with an organization than I do a head coach. Unless the head coach has total say like Bill did, Bill Belichick, or a guy like Mike Tomlin, or a guy like John Harbaugh. Every time they bring those things up where Nick Sirianni is like Mike Tomlin, no, he's not. Mike Tomlin handpicks his own staff. I know that for a fact because 2 of my teammates told me how the interview process went in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin calls you on the phone, brings you in, interviews you, talks to you, takes you out to dinner. You spend a week in Pittsburgh. Then what he does, if he wants to, the organization vets him. Then the front office gets a hold of him. They talk to him, and if they all can work together, they end up getting Mike's guy for him. And 95% of the time, Mike gets who he wants. They don't do that in Philly. That's not how that works. They handpick those coordinators. You know this. We don't have to go over this anymore. Mike Tomlin handpicks his guy. John Harbaugh handpicks his guys. Jim Harbaugh handpicks his guys. They have complete autonomy over their organization. They're nowhere near the same. This is a legit concern I have. And out the head coach is the first quarter plays. That's called preparation. And when you have to face superior teams, that's not a lot of wiggle room for mistakes. We'll see how that's going to play out. By the way, think about what you just said. They spend the entire week on that first 15 plays. Okay? Dan and Nick, both gambling coaches who haven't won shit. Yet you trust Dan more than Nick, who actually got a Super Bowl. You're funny. He doesn't have a Super Bowl. Okay? He's been to one. Okay? Dude, I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl. So is John Fox. He's been to a Super Bowl. Lovie Smith's been to a Super Bowl. Do you have trust for those guys too? Do you trust those guys as head coaches to win you games? I mean, says, I'm disappointed in you. I expected 4 hours of killing AJ. Your age is catching up with you. That fastball coming in like a beach ball. Hey, Twiz, you know why you can't talk too much shit on AJ Owens? Because he produces. Even though he's a bitch, he produces. It's a modern wide receiver. It's all good. Dude, you knew his ego was going to get the best of him eventually, because he was going to start crying about the fame that Barkley's getting and all the pub that Barkley's getting. Absolutely. Okay? Let's see here. Players trust Nick. Doesn't matter if you do. Okay. Hey, funny, Andrew. Andrew is the prime example of out of mind, out of sight, out of sight, out of mind. Things are going good. Where was he last year when shit was hitting the fan? He had no answers. Now things are going good again. Nick's the ultimate front runner. Things are going good. Great. By the way, if, like I said yesterday, AJ and Devontae don't get hurt, you're still throwing the ball. Barkley forced your hand with his exceptional year. No one else. Or they'd still be throwing it. You know why I know that? They do it at the start of every game. They do it at the start of every game. Barkley will go for a 12-yard run. All of a sudden, they got three passes. Why? Because they want to get the passing game going. And now they know they can't, so they revert back to what? They run the ball. Hey, they have not gotten over it yet. Barkley has made it so difficult for them as coordinators. He's taken the playbook out of their hands, Saquon Barkley. Now they're putting a fullback in, taking the third wideout out, running the ball more, throwing less. Why? Because the player in the backfield, rightfully so, is making them. You think Jeffrey Lurie and those guys want a 1925 offense? Hell no. Okay? Rat says I didn't read his super chat, Xander. Apologize if I didn't, dude. We'll see if we get to it here. I apologize. Seals, the record is nice, but it won't mean more. It would mean more if Barkley was homegrown. Championships matter more. I know Marino told you records, but I'm with you on that, Bob. I'm okay. I'm with you on that. Records are fleeting. Let's see here. Let's see what Zander says here. Fake news. He didn't send. Okay. Hey, Rat. Xander keeps an eyeball on that. Jesus, criminy. This guy's trying to get a super chat read. All supers go to the top, except when you're rat poison. That's his new name, rat poison. Nice job. Everybody spends their hard-earned money to get the super chats in here, and here comes a guy in here trying to butt in line. Give me a break, guy. Hey, rat poison. That's your new name. Every time I see you, rat poison. There, you got your sex. You've got your 17 seconds of fame. Hey, there's your 17 seconds. It's either rat fuck or rat poison. Pick one. Here's my boy Twiz. Me and him, man. You're my boy, dog. I don't think he understands what's going on here with rat poison. Okay? If we run Barkley from the get-go, should have the record and the rushing title in the third quarter. Hey, Charlie, run the damn ball you know what I would do? I would run the ball in that first quarter, and I would pray that somebody would say this: stop it. Let me stop it. Dude, the Eagles stop themselves because they want to throw the ball. Hey, let me ask you something. You tell me if this is good coaching by Nick Sirianni. You spend all week coming up with the best 25 plays you can. And the only part of the game that you have a say in the game and in the game plan is the preparation in the first 15 to 25. And it's failed all season. You think he's a good coach? Or do you think they have to resort back to doing shit they don't want to do? Handing it to Barkley. And that's why Nick has to go out there on some sort of like world tour promoting Jalen Hurts. I mean, you're not reading that way. Of course you're not. By the way, let's put it this way. Why can't they just accept who they are? They might win the Super Bowl. They might win the Super Bowl. Nick took a 4-win team to the playoffs his first season and a Super Bowl appearance his second. He needs to work on not being a fool at the mic, but he's won for us. Yes. And yes, but my question to you. So Devin, okay. You answer this then for me, Devin. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. So let me ask you, Devin. So all the missteps at the beginning of the season, the meltdown of a year ago, you gave him a pass. You're back on board with him being your coach. Is that cool? No. You spent $200 on Pornhub. Wrong place. Pornhub. Hey, rat poison. Pornhub. You're mistaken. Pornhub. You spent $200 on, not on JAKIB. Okay. Pornhub. Yeah. You know, and the one porn that you chicks with a stick. Sorry, it's the holidays. I have to behave myself. Sorry. All right. I'm going to get to my takeaways here in a minute. Oh, my God. Hey, I swear to God, he spent $200. No, Pornhub. How much? Hey, how come Sills knows how much that costs? Your girl told me. That's why. Hit the like button. How you doing? Hey, come on now, man. It's the holidays. I want to be in a good way now, man. It's a football Friday too. Let's not go off the rails until later. Okay? B. Costello, way to go, dude. We're good. Hey, Paisan. Hey, Bona Fortuna, my friend. Bona Fortuna. No. M. Reyes, I hear you're very popular in the Tenderloin district there in Frisco. How you doing? Sills, I've never seen an organization of champions grade on wins and not hardware. It tells you soft we've become with 44-19 with no rings as your only defense. Hey, we have silver medals everywhere. Samuel, correct. Hey, I even got a guy who comes on at 3:30, takes victory laps at December 6th. How you doing? Hey, you sure we're the best team in football? Okay, I know. We got the best roster of football. We're going to kick the shit out of everybody. Everyone, I'm going to nail everyone to the cross. They talk shit on my Jalen. Who talks shit on my Nicky? Okay, you think Nick Scarfo was a guy in Philly? Fuck, man. Nick Sirianni, man. This guy's the ultimate boss. Nick and Scarfo used to be the boss. Sirianni's the ultimate boss. How you doing? I'll Philly my ass. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, no. Xander says he's going to kick my ass at the bottom of the hour. You know how you can't? You got nothing to show for it. You got nothing to show for it. You can tell me all the fucking wins, all the records, all this and that. You got nothing. Zero. Nothing. No rings. The only ring you got is a ring around the toilet bowl. And you lose, so it goes those games. You're 2-3 in the playoffs, too. You gagged away a Super Bowl. I mean, what else? Where are we going? 44-19. Oh, okay. Congratulations for you. Way to stand on the podium. Hey, they give medals like that out at the Olympics. They also give medals out at the Olympics for curling. You know the thing you skate and you're really good at? I mean, that thing. Hey, you have nothing. Well, we're the best team in the NFC. Jesus criminy. Have you not been the best team in the NFC for 3 years? Okay. Eventually, someone's going to go underachieving. Let me ask you this. And I'll ask this question again. So let's ask this as an organization. You think the Philadelphia Eagles under Jeffrey Lurie one more time is over or underachieved? Over or under? Have they over or underachieved under the ownership? Here. That's right. That's right. What's your metric? Some of you, it's 44-19. Me, it's postseason coaching. Okay? It's postseason coaching. They've underachieved. Well, wait a minute. Not everybody's going to win the Super Bowl. I know. It just so happens that when you get a great organization, I mean, get this. You know why the Giants aren't winning? Giants don't have good fundamentals in the front office anymore. They had it with George Young, and they had it with Jerry Reese, and they had it with Tom Coughlin. They've gotten away from that. But they got more Super Bowls than you. The Washington Redskins, they got away from a guy like Joe Gibbs. And they got away from Bobby Beathard, who used to help Bobby. It used to be Bobby Beathard and Joe Gibbs. James Jones knows this better than anybody. When you have great front office people and great head coaching, and that's what the dynamic that they have in Kansas City right now, like they had in New England. Great quarterback, great coordinators, Andy and Spags, and a great GM. If you don't have all four of those, you can't win. Look at Green Bay. Great quarterback. Great coach. General managers? It's by committee in Green Bay. They don't answer to anybody. They don't have an owner. That's always been an issue in Green Bay. If you don't have the right GM and you don't have the right assistant coaches and coordinators, you're not going to win. That's why Green Bay has underachieved. How can you have three quarterbacks for almost 40 years, win all those games? Dude, nobody's won more than Green Bay in the last 35 years. Nobody. Green Bay, and they got 2 Super Bowls to prove it. One under Favre and one under Rodgers. Really? That's bullshit? Well, they've only had 3 quarterbacks in the last 40 years almost. 17 years with Favre, another 15 with Rodgers, and you have another, what is it now? 4 years, 3 or 2 years under Jordan Love. Green Bay, Packers, year in and year out. Let's see here. Green Bay. How many losing seasons have they had? 1, 2, 3. Okay, since 1991, Green Bay has had 1, 2, 3, 4. They've had 5 losing seasons since 1991. And they've won 2 Super Bowls in that time frame. Okay, 5 losing seasons. Take a look at that. So in the last 33 years, they've had 5 losing seasons, 2 Super Bowls. They win a lot of games. Okay? A lot of games. Sil's records aren't meant to be broken. 44-19 means nothing, but champions last forever. Do you think the Bills care about win records when they were 0-4 in the Super Bowl? Unfortunately, they don't. But that was a great accomplishment. They won 12 games every year that season. Those years, 12 games. Some of them, I think there was a 10-win season. I think there was a 13-win season. And this is when they played 16 games. They had a really great record during that time, but they didn't close the deal. It's one of the greatest accomplishments. You'll never see a team go to 4 Super Bowls in a row. This Kansas City team has a shot at it. But, I mean, just think about what they are going through right now just to get to 3. I mean, right now, get this. I think the Miami Dolphins are the last team to get to 3, and I think the New England Patriots have gone to 3 in a row. But there's been very few teams go to 3 consecutive Super Bowls. The Dolphins in the 70s went to 3. They lost the first one, and then they won 2 on the backside. And one of those years, they were undefeated in that process. That's why that Dolphins team is the greatest team of all time. It wasn't just that they had a year where they were undefeated. They went to 3 straight Super Bowls. This guy says the talent's better now. The talent's better now, but the teams aren't. Back then, you could keep your guys for 15 years. Same guys. You can't do that today. So the teams were better, fundamentally better. The talent is better today, no question. But the teams aren't. You couldn't move. If they had a great player, you were there for your entire career. There was no salary cap. There was no free agency. You couldn't move. That's why the NFL didn't have mediocrity like they have now in the game. Right now, they have mediocre teams in the league, and half the league stinks. You know why? Well, because of free agency. Free agency rips these teams apart. If you're a good player on a shitty team, you're not staying there. Back in the day, if you're OJ, you're with the Bills, and you're stuck there for your entire career. It's what it is. Okay? I mean, the teams were way better. They had more Hall of Famers on them. But you can't keep that in some extent. It's harder to build a championship team today than it ever has been. That's why, look, I asked you that question for a reason, because you have to put that into context too with the Eagles. Eagles are 44-19 in a salary cap era. Is that good? No, it's fucking great. It's fucking great. 44-19 in the 80s and 90s, they probably have 3 Super Bowls. You're not letting TJ Edwards go. He couldn't go anywhere. You're not letting Javon Hargrave go. He couldn't go anywhere. You're not letting Marcus Epps go. He couldn't go anywhere. You would have been able to stockpile teams like you did in the 90s with the 49er teams. If the Eagles didn't have a salary cap, they'd win 3-4 Super Bowls. You'd probably win a Super Bowl every other year. But because of the salary cap, that's what makes what Belichick and the Patriots did insane. They had a roster change every year. And they won every other year. Every other year they won. You understand that? Brady went to 10 Super Bowls in New England. Played 20 years. That means every other fucking year he was in the Super Bowl in New England. In the salary cap era. Unbelievable. Never see that again. Never see that again. Seriously, if the Eagles were in the 90s, during the Cowboy era, you probably had 3-4 Super Bowls. Because Howie would be able to stockpile. You can't win Super Bowls today. Look at how he changes the roster over every other year. Look at the amount of free agents you have coming up this year. You guys are saying sign everyone. Hey, man, that doesn't work like that. You got 53 guys. Not everybody's going to be a rock star. Do you know half the league is undrafted players? Did you know that? Half of the NFL's 2,000 players are undrafted. Did you know this? Okay, I mean, what did you get? Look, look at the stars on your team now. Shit, Reed Blankenship wasn't drafted, right? You get a guy like Kurt Warner, you find him, he's undrafted, and that guy goes on to win the Super Bowl MVP, and he's an MVP of the league. Tony Romo was undrafted. Shit, your left tackle was a 7th rounder. The league is made up of undrafted guys, half of it, and late round draft picks. Jason Kelce was a 6th rounder. I mean, you can't pay everyone. Steel's 44-19 in the salary cap era is awesome. It's fucking unbelievable. However, but the other shoe will drop. Look at the deferred money in the franchise over the next few years. How he really is going to have to do his homework and most likely have to cover it in the draft. Bob, that's right. That's why what I would do, you might let Josh Sweat roll and draft a guy because that money, or you got to figure out how to get out of that Bryce Huff deal. The Bryce Huff deal, the Slade deal, and the Bradbury deal are going to return some money to you. And you're going to be able to move some of that shit around because that's useless money. The Eagles are spending probably what? $20 million, $11 million, and another $7 million. You probably got around $38 million worth of money that's non-productive. I'd even move up with Gardner Johnson and that $8 million he has. I got guys back there that I feel comfortable with, and I got Vic Fangio. And I'd get younger over there. Dude, I think what you have right now on defense, you got a coordinator that's going to retire an Eagle. So I would take full advantage of that. I'd get the players that fit him perfectly. Zone cover guys, edge rushers. I'd get that guy whatever he wanted. But I'm not doing it through free agency. I'm going to do it through the draft. Build it up. You know why? He's 70 years old. This guy's got 3 years as a coordinator left in Philly. Then you pass that shit off to a guy. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you pay Clint Hurt. He's not going to be around if you let him walk out. He's going to be a coordinator somewhere. Maybe he's the heir apparent. Okay? Maybe he's the heir apparent to being the coordinator in Philly. Okay? No, I don't believe Gardner Johnson brings the grit to the team. I think it's Cooper DeJean that brings the grit to the team. I disagree with that. Dude, personally, to me, I think the team looks better when DeJean was put in after the bye as a starter. Once he was put in, the team changed. The attitude of the team changed. I just think there's no doubt that those two guys have changed the landscape. Mitchell and DeJean have changed the attitude. By the way, I will say this about your Eagles this year. There's no question. I even heard Nick say today. Last year, I thought it was a labor to get to 11 wins. Right now, I think it's a joy to get to 10. And they can't wait. To me, it looks like the Eagles can't wait to show up to work every day. Last year, I think they dreaded it. That's been an observation for me. Has been that they look like they enjoy going to work and can't wait to get to work every day. Okay? Last year, I thought it was a grind. By the way, they've upgraded in numerous places. Think about it, where they've upgraded. Left corner from a year ago. Look at where they've upgraded. Left corner, both backers, right guard, running back. Okay? Slot safety, corner, I should say. Where they haven't, well, they've upgraded because of production. At edge because of sweat. Okay? But they really haven't got the production because you lost 11 sacks. As of right now, you've lost 11 sacks. What edge rusher outside of sweat is going to get you 11 sacks? How many? Those threesome, Felix Hunt, Nolan Smith, and Josh Sweat. Like I said in 22, you guys keep saying that you don't have better pass rushers today. Because you had BG, he had 11, Sweat had 11, and Reddick had 16. That's 38 sacks. In 24, you're probably going to get 11 out of Sweat, 6 out of Smith, and how many out of Hunt? 4? It's 21 sacks on the edge versus 38 and 22. You're nowhere near it. You're nowhere near that. And interior-wise, Hargrave had 11. Fletcher had 6. So you had 17 sacks between the starters. This year, you're going to get what? 10? Between Davis and Carter? Okay. That was a good pass rushing defense in 22. A better pass rushing defense and put more pressure on you, which in turn made the secondary better. Sills, you the man, my brother. Don't listen to the fake fans that pay monthly subscriptions without cannoli grinders. Thank you, Martin. You're a good man, man. I appreciate you. Hey, fuck those guys, man. I don't give a shit about them. By the way, after a while, you treat people sometimes that are jerks like a box of rocks. Hey, to me, man, it's very simple to do that too. Do you know how many people that I end up putting in my box of rocks? You know what that means? I pay no mind. I used to not have that box. Now I do. You don't want to be in that box because that means I don't give a shit what happens if you're hit by a bus or not. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Sills, what do you think of Michael Clay? Because we talked about Kellen, but Clay looks like he's improved the special teams. He has. And for the record, Merrill Reese brought his name up. Let me say this to you. I'm going to show you this. Here are the coaches in the past that have had special teams backgrounds that have gone on to be great coaches. Marv Levy, John Harbaugh, Joe Gibbs, Dick Vermeil. These guys all started in the special teams area. Would he make a good coach? Remember something, what he does too. Remember something what Michael Clay does as a coach compared to what Kellen and what Vic Fangio does. What's the one disadvantage that Michael Clay has that those guys have an advantage over him? Do you know what it is? What's the one advantage, before we get to Xander, what's the one advantage that Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore have over Michael Clay? They run, obviously, the defense. He runs the offense. Clay runs the special teams. What's the one difference? Bill Cowher, too. That's right, special teams. Remember this. Special teams has the lesser of the talent on the roster. And he's got to make that unit a success using the backups. It's backups that makes his unit. There's no backups with the defense and offense. Those are the frontline guys. Michael Clay, as a coach, has to make chicken shit into chicken soup every week. Do you think that's a skill set? I do. Getting the best out of lesser players. Hey, everybody, when you look at special teams coaches and you don't really put a high emphasis on them, you don't realize how talented they are. They take the lesser dude and make them a better player. They turn C students into B students every single day. It's quite a testament. They always are dealing with the lesser guys. Shit, I haven't even got to my takeaway here for this shitty game on Sunday with the Carolina Panthers. Holy cow. Hey, I'm not going to be telling my football team on a Friday, hey, let's make sure we go out there and play hard on Sunday. If you don't fucking know that by now on December 6th, you got a problem. If you let off the gas on December 8th and you don't go in there and play your ass off, you got a problem. And that's not a coaching issue. That's a player issue. Get off the bus, get back on the bus, go home, get ready for Pittsburgh. Take care of business. We'll hit on that a little bit here. All right. Woo, boy, I tell you what. You know what we like to do here? We like to get the wide out. Eagle fans like to get the wide out. That never happened. That never happened. That never happened. Wait, Sills, don't bring that up. Are you crazy, man? Give me the wide out. That guy have a meltdown. No, this never happened. This never happened. It never fucking happened. Wait a minute. Did that guy have a nuclear meltdown last year? No. You saw a mirage. Oh, okay. The 2-2 start. No. He's 10-2. You crazy? He's the coach of the year. So you've given him a hall pass. All right. Out of sight, out of mind. 10-2. Love it. Hey, and where you get a ton of that bullshit is my next guest. Folks, the co-host, our friend of Birds 365, it is our friend, Zander Betsy Krause.
What's up, Big Sills? Football Friday, baby.
You.
It's treating me amazing. 8 straight. What a game that was last night, by the way. Eagles are not the only good team in the NFC, everybody. Those were 2 good football teams last night. Nice day, Sills. How you doing?
You made an interesting comment before we went on the air. You said this, and it's an astute, believe it or not, take by you. You said this.
One of many.
That team won with all the deficiencies on that side of the ball defensively, with all the faces not out there. And they went out there against a pretty good Packer team and shut that offense down, which has been pretty good over the last month and a half. And you're right. That comes back to coaching, man. And that comes back to that coaching staff. Xander, you see a lot of similarities between Nick and Dan Campbell. I don't know, man.
I don't.
You don't really? There's something.
I see about basically zero. I mean, other than that, they're both aggressive.
Tell me why.
Well, I think they're different types of coaches. They resonate with their players in completely different ways. And I don't like that everybody just wants to compare the two because they're both aggressive. By the way, if they were racing in that regard, then Dan Campbell's won that too because he went for it on his own 31. He didn't give a shit what anybody said. And we can sit here and criticize it right now. He still won't give a shit. So he won that race too. Look, I like Dan Campbell.
That's a fucking fucked up.
I know Eagles fans don't want to hear that. I like Dan Campbell. I like Dan Campbell a lot. He is a cool coach. He is fun to watch. And look, he does some crazy things, but he believes in what he believes. And You know, he's willing to live with those results regardless of what they are, and I can respect the way he does that. Now, Nick, you know, maybe I was too critical of him because that's what he was trying to do, but here's the difference. Nick got a little bit of shit in Philly. What's he done recently now?
I don't know. What has he done?
He's going for it less, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So a couple peeps